guys, welcome back to another episode of the Chamber Guy. Today we have the pleasure of the presence of Mr. Johari Abu Kasim, the president of Malaysian Medical Device Manufacturers Association, also known as Perantim. Mr. Johari, welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me today.
Thank you so much for swinging by. Now, Mr. Johari, I believe our viewers would want to know a little bit about you, your background, where you come from, and what actually brought you into Perantim.
Well, first of all, thank you for the Chamber guys for having this some sort of discussion and interview. Let me start with a little bit explaining about myself. My name is Johari Abu Kasim. I've been the president of Malaysian Medical Device Manufacturer Association for the past 1 year plus, getting to 2 years. I'm also the group managing director for Star Medic Group of companies. We are the distributor of medical ventilators in Malaysia and Brunei. We are also a manufacturer of medical device for exports markets. I've been doing this for the past 18 years, so never getting tired of this. I'm a banker by experience and training. Actually in my youngest days I worked in HSBC and Citibank for some years in corporate banking and risk management. So that's where I actually learned some trick and trades of the businesses. I also sit on various Malaysian government agency as an advisor and also some of the assistants, including the Medical Device Associations, SIRIM, NPT, the Malaysian Science Academy. I also quite active in non-profit organizations. I have these foundations which we focus into helping those kampong folks or village folks who needs access to private medical attention. So I have some clinics in the suburbs which actually give a very some of them are free medical treatments, clinic services to them. And of course, during the pandemic, we have a lot in terms of food bank, in terms of PPE and everything. So that's pretty much about myself.
Well, you know, after this interview, I'll have a private session with you to learn more about time management. Because the kind of things you do a lot of things. You are a busy man.
Yes, I am. Yes, I am. And that's what my work.
Now, I do understand that Parentim was founded just before we had the pandemic. And you have been president of Parentim for almost a year now. Can you give our viewers an introduction to Parentim, why it was established, and what is its mission and vision?
Right. Okay. Perantim's Malaysian Medical Device Manufacturer Associations, or Perantim, we stand for Persatuan Pengilang-Pengilang Peranti Perubatan Malaysia. It was actually started in 2018. So we are celebrating 5 years in existence this year. Okay, so during that time in Malaysia, there is no association that represent local manufacturer. We realized that it has been of course, Malaysia, there's a lot of medical device manufacturer, and some of them are foreign direct investment. But there's no association who represents local manufacturer. Local manufacturer means that they have to have in our associations to become a member. They have to have, of course, ISO 13485, which depicts them they are the manufacturer, and also at least Malaysian must own at least 51%. So some of the issues that reflects or affects local manufacturer, there's not really an associations actually take champion of the issue to talk to the government, to talk to all the stakeholders in regards to the problem or the issues. So in 2018, there's a few of us actually sit down together and we talk to Matrade, which is Malaysian Trade, one of the government agency, to help us to form this association. That's why actually we started. Of course, our vision is actually to make medical device industry as one of the key economic driver for the Malaysian economy. And we want to have more of our members, not only selling locally, as everybody knows, Malaysian population is very small, but we want to become one of a major contributor to Malaysian exports. That's our vision. So what we're going to do, Okay, what we want to do for our mission is I want to develop a clear roadmap. Okay, for the next 3 years, what we want to do, we have to plan exactly what we want to do to achieve our visions. That's the thing. Probably I can talk about it later. So that's pretty much about our association, Perantim, and mission and visions. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Johari. Now, the medical device market in Malaysia is overseen by the Medical Device Authority, the MDA. Tell us what exactly is the role of the MDA, and what do you think is the potential for growth, given that the current value of this industry is estimated to be in excess of US $1.4 billion?
Well, I can tell you this, that every country, they have to have regulators and of course regulations when regards to medical device, because medical device is all about life. It's about saving life, about affecting life and everything. So there must be an agency, a government agency who actually supervise this and establish the rules and regulations for all the players, all the stakeholders, including the manufacturer, the importer, the exporter, the assemblers, the users, in fact, to follow the guidance. Okay, some of the countries that I know, they don't have this kind of regulation. So that means their products are imported at their will, and nobody actually monitoring this. This is quite bad for the user, for the Malaysian, especially who are using the device. So MDA was formed. One of the key reason is actually to supervise this issue, the safety for the user when the product is imported. Okay, it has to be certified. Somebody has to verify the certifications. Somebody has to see whether the product is actually working as what they claim, and the product has to be work well as what they use. We everybody, I think, learned from a very hard experience during pandemic. Uh, all of a sudden medical device becomes so important. Okay, all the countries actually scrambles to get their hands on any available medical device because it's all about life and death. So that's one of critical reasons why MDA was formed. Of course, I'm speaking on behalf of the association. I'm sure the CEO of the Medical Device Authority, Malaysian Medical Device Authority, will have more explanation. But that's basically because Perantim is working very closely with this agency together, because I also sit on one of the what call this working committee in innovations, because we at association also want to promote new innovations at the associations, and also together with MDA. So that's one of the reasons why MDA is actually in existence. Yeah.
Right. So, just to be clear, when you are talking about medical devices, you would be talking about all electronic devices, like even digital thermometers, even.
Yeah, medical device is a wide, very range of areas.
Yes, huge range.
There are about more than 30,000 types of medical device. It can go as simple as a stethoscope layer, all the way to high-tech X-ray machine, ventilator machine, and everything. So all these equipments, all these so-called, as long as they are claimed as medical device, they have to be regulated. Somebody has to monitor them. This is the role of MDA. Yeah.
And every medical device, if I'm not mistaken, has to be registered.
Definitely. If you are importers like myself, also I imports, okay, for distribution or for all in the all hospital in Malaysia. And also, if like myself, also I will also exports, so I have to get the certification and everything. This is we all have to register the product in Malaysia to be used in Malaysia. Yes.
Right, that's good to know. Now, due to various factors such as the current geopolitical tensions, the ongoing inflation, and of course the looming market uncertainty, there has been a global economic slowdown affecting some of Malaysia's trading partners, like the US, which also happens to be Malaysia's third largest trading partner. Can you tell us about some of the initiatives taken by the Malaysian government, especially in the area of healthcare system in Malaysia, to counter the effects of the slowing economy in the face of growing uncertainty?
Well, the medical device industry globally is very big. course, is worth, if I'm not mistaken, in excess of 200 billion US dollar. Malaysia is doing probably 4%, 5% of it, exporting all over the world. And 50% of our exports actually come from glove. And our biggest trading partners in glove is definitely American market, Europe markets. And for this kind of products, of course, the critical part is the raw material. Okay, some of the raw material is available in the country. Some of them we have to import with the current uncertainties or happening in Europe and everything. Of course, the supply is being affected. For medical device, of course, the market size is currently being affected by the geopolitical tensions in the European regions. Some of our clients are unable to import. Some of them taking a longer time. There's an increased cost of businesses during this time, and of course, the inflation is not helping as well. Everybody is expecting 2023 is going to be a very challenging years.
Yeah.
For globally, not only for our region. So, of course, for the Malaysians government, they have been doing quite a number of things, of course. Maybe before that, I can touch a bit. During the pandemic, there's something that we learn, or our clients learn about Malaysian being an manufacturer and exporter. Is actually good to know. Some of them actually is blessing in disguise, if I just may say. Some of the products during the pandemic, they realized that products imported from Malaysia are quite good quality, despite sometimes the price a bit not the cheapest, of course, not the most expensive, but it's actually good high quality products produced at a very, very, very competitive pricing. So some of the new clients that I met during Medica, maybe later on I can talk a bit about Medica, which is the medical exhibition in Germany, mentioned this to me in person, that many of the Europeans or even Americans importer realized that of course last time they import, everything has to do with pricing, everything has to do with how quick they can get. But they realized in our region, Southeast Asia, especially Malaysia, Singapore, and Indonesia, Thailand, we are able to produce high quality products, medical products at very competitive pricing, and we are a very reliable business partner. So that's the good thing that we realized. That's the reason, one of the things that Perantim in our plan to produce or develop the roadmap for our country is actually to look into long-term business partnering with the Europeans and also the American. We want to there's a lot of, probably I can explain later, but what our government has been doing is actually to help the SMEs, because SMEs actually the backbone of industries, of course, in anywhere. And Malaysians, being a small country, SME play a major role in employment, in job security and everything. So lots of this budget, Malaysians spend in their budget probably about 5 billion per year, about 1.2 US billion per year in our healthcare system. Of course, bulk of it will go to infrastructure, we go to buildings and everything. And of course, there are other certain areas that actually meant for high technology items, high technology medical devices, of which the government actually buying for the use of our citizen. So there are the things that we actually working with the government currently, that there are certain medical devices that we feel that instead of we importing from US, UK, all those countries, we are actually have the capability and we have the technology to produce by ourselves, especially those critical equipment. So this is the thing that we are planning with our government, that we want to have a new directions, certain high technology items, for example, ventilators, for example, oxygen concentrator, even X-ray machines, okay? Malaysians are able to produce this. We are able to have the capability to produce and in fact manufacture this, not only for our local consumptions, but also, of course, we're going to export it. See, this is kind of things that we as a Perantim, our association, want to push this with our government. Of course, the government have been spending quite a big amount to support the citizens' requirements on the hospitalizations. Yeah.
Right. Just to expand a little bit on what you have just mentioned, due to the global recognition which you have now achieved over the course of the pandemic, Have you seen a marked increase in export figures?
Okay. Malaysians, in terms of medical device export, was probably doing what 20 billion, yes, sorry, 20 billion ringgit to 25 billion ringgit before pandemic. During pandemic, we climbed up to 30, 32, 35 billions. So that's actually good numbers to register. Of course, Malaysian is, when it comes to glove, Malaysian is always number one because we have the resources. We have been in the business for a very long time. But for medical device, especially like, for example, catheters, we are one of the world biggest exporter of catheters. One of the reason probably because we have the resources, the rubbers and everything. But that's beside the point. It's not only the resources, but seem to us that a lot of countries currently and getting slowly recognizing Malaysian ability to produce very good quality. Okay, not only that, they are very good partners because I've been receiving reports from my members in regards to this because some of our their customers are quite happy to deal with because they are, despite of all the restriction and everything, a lot of Malaysian manufacturers able to produce whatever the demand, but without compromising on the quality and pricing. So I think we are in the right direction. It's just a matter of getting some of the fine tuning, hopefully.
Right. Thanks for that. Now, let's talk a little bit about the Comprehensive and Progressive Agreement for Trans-Pacific Partnership, also known as the CPTPP. I understand that there's a ratification process going on. How is this coming along? And what would you say would be the impact to the local Malaysian economy?
Sorry. I think it's already been ratified. Malaysia already ratified it in September last year, if I'm not mistaken. So
Okay.
We are now actually part of the CPTPP countries. Perantim is one of the associations who actually support this 100%. We actually issue some of the press statements to support the government effort to ratify the agreement. For us, it's very simple. It's suddenly we have access to a very big market, to these 11 countries with total population of about 500 million populations is quite big. I mean, compared to us, Malaysia 30 over million, 500 million population is huge, of course. And the GDP of this combined is about 12 trillions. Is something that we don't want to miss, definitely. Okay. For us, is very, very, very lucrative, something that we want to penetrate. Of course, even during 2022, Perantim in fact has organized some of the trips to some of these countries to look into some business opportunity, export opportunity, working relationship opportunities with them. For us, it's a very, very good opportunity. Of course, the government have to look into some of the small issue like protecting the local manufacturers, small business and everything. I leave it to the government who have a better access and better information about that. But for us, for Perantim, is actually a very good opportunity, very good access, a huge opportunity for us to explore. Yeah.
Right. With your many years of experience, especially as you mingle with all the other medical device manufacturers in Malaysia and also abroad, what do you think are the challenges being faced by the medical device manufacturers in Malaysia today?
Okay. The one is definitely cost of doing business. It's been escalating year by year. Okay. I think this maybe I can give a bit of explanation of example. For Malaysian or any country or any company to export, we have to have CE certificates to go to Europe. And in fact, some of the Middle East countries has take the CE certification as their key criteria, a key documentation for them to accept the product in their country. So for every now and then we have to do the audits, and recently CE European Union has announced that they are upgrading the certification from MDD, which stands for medical device into MDR, medical device requirements. It sounds like D to R. It sounds like a very small, but actually for every Every product actually costs about $250,000 of Malaysian ringgit. It's probably about 50,000 US dollar. It's actually a very huge cost for Malaysian manufacturer. So this is definitely the challenge. Last November, I went to Germany and I got to talk to some of our Malaysian counterpart in German. Probably next year, Germany also going to introduce green audit for Malaysian who wants to export to Europe. So that's another additional cost for us to consider. So raw material, of course, the inflation's coming up and everything. The raw material is going to be more expensive, and of course, we are competing with many countries like China. China is the center of the manufacturer of the world, so they have a huge advantage.
Everything is made in
things,
China.
yeah, everything is made in China, correct. So this is actually one of the big challenge for Malaysians manufacturer in the industries. But of course, we have our way, our plans to counter this. We have to embrace it. When it comes to challenges, we definitely have to embrace. We have to plan. How to overcome it. That's one of the things that I think one of the biggest challenge for the manufacturer in the current moment. Yeah.
Right. Now, I do believe you touched on this just a little bit. You were talking about your roadmap for the next 3 years. Now, let's talk about the next 3 years. What are your priorities over the next 3 years to assist medical device manufacturers?
Okay. There are things that we have to plan to reduce the cost of doing business, definitely. I mentioned just now about how bad the cost is going to be, and we have a plan how to counter that situations. We're going to see whether we can work along with some of the audit agencies to be recognized as a CE certifier, so that this Malaysian agency can audit us at a lot cheaper cost. That's probably one of the things that we want to do. We also in the probably this year or next year want to look into talents actually. Malaysians have been facing this talent drain or brain drain to other countries because of the offering and everything. So we can't be doing all those simple disposable. We want to fight. We want to compete with global manufacturers, global exporters. We have to invest in R&D definitely.
Right.
So talent is one of the things that we want to look into. We want to miss those brilliant young guys, being offers a better job overseas, whereas their service are really needed back in their countries. So then there's the thing what we want to work with the government, see whether we can come up with some sort of programs, to compensate or to attract these good talents and good brain to come back to Malaysia to help the industries definitely. Of course, just now I mentioned about critical medical devices, which is currently we are net importer. Things like ventilator, things like oxygen concentrator, even the vaccines and everything. It's good that one or two companies now in Malaysia already starting doing research in developing our own ventilators, which is we are very commendable. We want to really support these companies, but there's a lot of other critical equipments. So that COVID is not the first pandemic that we experience. Before this, there are bird flu. So I think about 4 or 5 in our lifetime. We
SARS as well,
pandemic.
right?
SARS as well, definitely.
Yep.
Yeah, only the COVID is like the worst ever pandemic. So every time, I'm talking about, of course, Malaysia, every time we have this pandemic, we have to, import the critical equipments, and we have to, some sort like, if I may use the word bag from this country to supply to us and everything. So I think it's about time for us to take charge of this, and we want to produce by ourselves. So these are the things that we want to look into. Of course, we want to work with financial bankers to encourage more liquidity in the market to help the manufacturer. That's definitely one of the things that we want to do. Yeah.
That's a huge call. There's a lot of things you need to do for your members.
Yeah.
Now, everything is reliant on various policies and the guidelines laid down by the government. Now, what do you feel are the policies that need to be changed, or any new policies that need to be implemented in order to facilitate the manufacturing as well as the export process?
Well, Peranti have been working closely with many government agencies in Malaysia, Matrade, MITI, Prime Minister Department, MIDA, you just name it, SME Corp and everything. So we feel that some of the agencies have very good plan actually to promote whatever their agencies objective are. And we of course we don't want them to change the policy, the national policy, just to accommodate the association like Parentim. But what we want to do is actually to have them to shape and understand our point of requirements. Like for example, medical device is we can't rely on local market because local market is very small. Okay, we have to export. Okay, we have to. There's no other choice. So we would like to see if we can encourage the government to buy the locally made, give priority for us. Of course, there are policy like that, but it's not really being emphasized. I really admire Indonesians, the presidents who actually instructed their what we call fabric or their manufacturer. They said if we can produce here in Indonesia, we will not import it. So that goes actually to medical device as well. I have to my company have to look into joint venture avenue with our Indonesian counterpart to open a factory in Indonesia, just because we don't want to lose a market like Indonesia. This is something that probably I would like to if I have the opportunity to encourage our government to change and emphasize more on buying local manufacturer products before we import. That's probably one of the key things that I want to do. Yeah.
Right. Talking about joint ventures, which you just mentioned, I believe one of the places you actually meet other manufacturers would be events. And I've gone through your profile. You have traveled quite a bit. In fact, I would like to talk about one of your travels now. I would like to talk to you about your participation in trade fairs like the Medica Düsseldorf, Germany last year. And can you tell us what happened during this trade fair, and how do you assist and help your medical device manufacturers via these events?
Okay. Medica is definitely the place. If you are in the industry, it's the place that you want to go. They have a lot of offering, a lot of product, new technologies. They normally will showcase their new technology there. We in fact already participated in Medica for I think close to 11, 12 times. If I'm not mistaken, I lose count already. I went there in November last year. Of course, after two years of hiatus because of the traveling restrictions and the pandemic. But this is what I found when I was in Germany last year. Of course, the response in 2022 is a lot lesser. Of course, major participations every year in Medica come from Chinese companies. There are restrictions of traveling for them. So the event was a bit smaller compared to what I have experienced before. But overall, the event itself is huge. There are like 17, 18 halls. One hall is like 2-3 times of normal soccer field. So you just imagine how big the event is. When I was there, I realized that the people who attending, the visitors or the exhibitors are, number one, they are really in the business. They are not really come there to check around. They are really in the business. They have been in the business for quite a while. So they really know what they want to look for. So this is kind of things that I actually encourage my members to attend to Medica, because you will meet a lot of new potential customer. You can easily for you to explain, to showcase your product, to do the presentation and everything. And that's I always like to, every time I go to this kind of event, I'll participate in their event, their sub event, like their discussion and everything. This is the points that I mentioned just now. Many buyers, especially in Europe or America or even Middle East, realize that during pandemic that they can source a reliable, good product at good pricing not cheap pricing, but it's a competitive pricing from Southeast Asia, especially Malaysia, especially Malaysia, simply because some of the products Malaysians produce are quite good. In fact, some of the product they produce is actually at higher quality level, despite their mere requirement. So that's the reason why during the pandemic, if they order from Malaysians companies, a lot of product they receive is good product, but the price remain the same. So they are pleasantly happy about that, and they feel that Malaysian business partner are quite reliable. Of course, there are isolated cases and everything, so I don't want to mention about that. But in general, they feel that Malaysian is present a very good business partner to them. That's why I really encourage Malaysians business, especially medical device, not only Peranti members but all the nation, to go to take the opportunity to travel to this kind of event to look, because this is one of the good event that we can look into new product, we can source new product, and also meet new custom, new people, and new at the end of the day, new customer. So that's about Medica.
Well, it swings both ways, and you get to know new products as well as find another leeway you can market your products as well. Now, I would like to ask you at this point, would you be able to give us a list, maybe 2 or 3 points would do? Why is it important for medical device manufacturers in Malaysia to be part of Parentim?
Of course, number one, one voice, more voices is a lot stronger than one voice. Definitely is that the case. Yep. Perantim is being an association which is being recognized by the Malaysian agency. We receive a lot of assistance and grants to do promotions, especially. So, like for example, we are the first recipient of the Empowerment of Trade Association. This is a grant given by the government to those good associations to bring their members to international events and promote and sell their product in those countries. We went to Sao Paulo and also South Africa last year using this grant. So by becoming a member, you have access to this grant. That's definitely one of the critical points for me, because of course, if you even though you have the ability to go by yourself, by your own company, and do your own promotions, but once we go as an association in numbers, we are being recognized. We got better coverage. We got better public relations from the countries. So that actually a huge advantage, especially we want to talk about export and promoting our products internationally. That is definitely number one. Number two is, of course, we have a lot of platform media that we do a lot of opinions exchanges. We a lot of discussions. Like for example, of course, everybody knows 2023 going to be a very challenging year. There are new acts for employment. All of a sudden, the working hours now reduced to 45 hours per week and more leave for maternity. Those kind of things. These kind of issues we discuss in the forum that we have in our associations. So being a member, you definitely can take advantage and get to know this information. And that's what few of the critical points, I believe, to become a member like a session like Perantim. Yeah.
Right. Thanks for that. Now, let's say I'm a medical device manufacturer in Malaysia. How can I reach out to you and sign up for a membership? I do understand that there is a procedure, there's a process. How do we do it?
Well, nowadays it's all about social media. So we are on our website. So our website is www.perantim.com.my. .com without .my. We are on Facebook, Perantim as well. We are on IG. So they can go to any of these social media. There are a link to become a members. There are a bit of form, because to become member, like I said, they have to have minimum 2 things, which is they have to have ISO 13485, which denotes them as the manufacturer, and also they have to prove to us that you are at least 51% owned by Malaysia. Then you can become a member. So they have to do a bit of document submission and everything. Of course, then they can. It's quite simple procedure. So I don't see any problem with that.
Is there any cost involved?
For becoming a member is 1,000 per year. It's very cheap actually. Yep. It's 1,000 per year. And some of the companies out there which is in medical industries, but they are not manufacturer. We have a lot of requests from that also. So there is a associate members category that we are actually have. Then these members, this new company, without the ISO 13485, they can still also become a member. They become associate members. Associate members is all the same benefit except for they can be voting during the AGMs, and their fee just a little bit more, 1,500 ringgit per year. That's it.
Right. I mean, this is something that they can actually recoup with the membership, the advantages and the benefits that they get. Now,
yeah, they have access to all the other benefit. They can travel with us. They have the platform for discussion with us and everything. It's not a problem. Yeah.
You know, as with any membership, tell me if you agree with me. Because I've been speaking to many chambers around the world and many business associations, one of the most important things that they actually talk about and they advise their members also is, if once you become a member, you have to play an active role. Don't just take the back seat. Come to our meetings, come to our events. We have a summit, come to our summit, exhibitions, come and mingle, come and meet people to reap the full benefits of the membership. Because there have been people who take up a membership and just take a back seat and wait for things to fall into their lap. It just doesn't happen that way. What do you think?
Oh, definitely. Because this is a so-called a common cause that we are like fighting for or been working on. Of course, in any associations, there are active members, there are only observers, there are non-active members, those kind of thing, which is quite a big norms in any of the associations. But I always encourage my members to participate because the benefit is huge actually, and we are being so-called the underdog industries in the country. There's a lot of benefits we want to pursue, and we need opinions, we need feedbacks definitely. So we can't be getting that if members keeping quiet. So always we always encourage our members to participate, and I think this goes to any other association as well. Yeah.
Right. Now, Johari, the economic forecast looks a little bit gloomy for this year. I mean, we're just at the start of the year, just a few days in. It's already starting to look a little bit gloomy based on what has transpired and what has been forecast. Now, what do you have to say to the global business community and the medical device manufacturers in Malaysia? Do you have any final words?
Okay. When it comes to economic cycle, there's always up and down, definitely. We have to be prepared, definitely. And seems that COVID is coming back, and we have to be prepared as well.
Yep.
So, yeah, that when it comes to this kind of situation, there's always things that we have to be prepared, and there are always opportunity to look for business, especially for medical device manufacturer. I think it's very, very important for everybody to understand that we have to stick together when it come to facing this kind of situations. The cost of doing business is going to escalate more after this. This one is definite. Okay, so we have to work something to reduce our costs and to make sure that we are able to compete competitively. So we have to work in a group. We can't be working alone. So I think that's the message I would like to send to everybody, that number one, it's going to be a very challenging year, definitely. Okay, there's going to be opportunity. But being members on association like Perantim, we can always share the information. We can always share the opportunity sometimes. So it's very important for us to stick together and work along, and we, as a big like a big voice that we can talk and push to government that certain things could benefit us as a manufacturer of the local manufacturer. Like for example, just now I said about the giving priority to local manufacturer first. This is kind of things that we want to send a message to the Malaysian manufacturer, that we want to talk to our government, that we want to make them to realize, yes, there is a policy currently, but it's not really being enforced. So we would like to see that being enforced especially during these difficult times. Yeah.
Right. Johari, we have come to the end of this interview. I would like to thank you on behalf of Gochambers as the chamber guy, and also on behalf of Skyhigh.Vip as the Chief Operating Officer of Skyhigh.Vip. It has been an amazing interview because not only have I learned a lot during this half an hour, 45 minutes, but you have actually shared a lot of crucial information that can be used by all the medical device manufacturers in Malaysia. And you have actually also put across certain vital elements that they have to hold on to. Like, for example, you've also said, let's work as a group. Let's not go in alone. Because you as part of Perantim will be able to guide them and set them on the right path, negotiate for them, and together as a group, you definitely will be able to achieve more. I thank you for that. And on behalf of, I can't speak on behalf of the Malaysian medical device manufacturers, but I would like to thank you so much for being there, for your experience, for all that you have actually done for this organization. I thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for having
Thank
me
you.
today.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Mr. Johari Abdul Kasim, the president of Malaysian Medical Device Manufacturers Association. Thank you very much for watching, and please remember to click the subscribe button if you have not already done so to watch more interviews, interview videos with the movers and shakers of the business world. If you'd like to get in touch with Perantim, we have the link right below, so click on that as well. So I will see you next week. I'm the Chamber Guy, and stay safe.